Right then, so for this game I'm playing Wukong top lane. Now I picked Wukong because I'm confident with him and I was first pick, so I didn't have a lot of options. I was originally going to pick for AD carry, but we had a pre-made bot lane, so I went top lane thinking that I'd just pick something I was confident with. So my team consists of Wukong as me, we have Dr. Mundo, Graves, and Leona bot lane, and Gragas in mid lane. They have Morgana mid, Misfortune and Nunu bot lane. They have Skarner in the jungle, and Olaf in top lane against me. So at first, my first impression was this would be a tough lane. Olaf is notorious for being painful on most top lanes. So I wanted to try and play safe. But we'll see how that pans out. So we'll get this started then. Just so everyone knows, this is a 5v5 solo queue ranked, just shy of 1400 elo. So I would expect semi-good players at this elo, but I don't keep my hopes up. I've had a lot of bad games in the past, and I don't hold my hopes up for everything in a game when it comes to solo queue ranked. So we'll see how this goes. So I cover the jungle. I'm not expecting an invade from them, to be honest. It's not really to be expected from a team like theirs, but you never know. So I covered. I get into lane, I start farming, farm, like always. I poke him, realising that for some reason he's not hitting me with true damage, which is really weird. And then Mundo ganks. The gank went quite well, but I took a lot of damage because I engaged a little bit too early, which wasn't good for me, but we did manage to push him off. He used all his pots because of it. And then I continued to farm, pretty much. Bot lane at this point is struggling, which is kind of a shame, but oh well. I have a little skirmish there, went badly. This fight was horrible for me. I shouldn't have engaged like that. I ended up nearly dying. I can't go back on the farm because if I do, he'd kill me. So I'm just playing it safe. I then realise he's backing off, so I take this advantage and farm. At this point, my mid lane dies, which is kind of a shame, but to be honest, like I said, I don't expect anything amazing in the solo queue rank. So while I'm farming, I'm thinking I'll back after this. Olaf comes back and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can't stay much longer. So I kind of want to stay for the farm, but then I just decide probably best if I back. So I go back and I get double Dorans. Would have liked to have a ward, but I couldn't afford it. So my initial thought was Olaf will probably just be pushing constantly, so I'll be fine. Olaf at this point is for some reason not in lane farming or anything, which really confuses me. He comes back with a longsword, and I'm like, why? Realising that he's rushing Phage, I'm like, okay, fine. So I built health against him because it's Olaf, true damage. The best way to counteract it is to have health. And I'm Wukong, so I actually need some form of damage to actually win the lane anyway. So I'm farming like I should, and I'm actually ahead of him in farm, which I'm confused by because he's actually. And here we go. And I get one kill, but we both die, both me and Mundo, to the Skarner, which is a shame. Meaning Olaf gets 2 assists, which is kind of bad, but it's Olaf. He kind of needs the kills. Assists don't benefit him a lot. Now, I went Merc Treads because I'm going for late game. I'm not going for the lane fights. I go off and I kill Morgana because Gragas leads her up and nearly kills her, and I'm like, fine, I'll just come and finish it off. And then I get, at this point, I get a double kill, I believe. Here we go. No, I don't. He gets away. It's later on that I get a double kill, I believe. So, I go back to farming. Farm. We live to farm. It being top lane, this is what happens anyway. And then I don't know why I altered there. It was a bit random and a bit out of place, but oh well. So I continue to farm. At this point, he's a bit scared of me, which I'm confused by because he could still kill me quite happily. I've got no walls. He's got his ignite at this point, and apparently so do I, but that doesn't sound right. But anyway, And then we have a little fight dragon, and I go down to hell. And then they're all dead, and they get dragon. I'm like, oh, okay. So I just go back to top lane and to push it back, because it pushes, and I'm like, ouch, I really should have gone down there, but I needed to go down there just in case we needed a clean up. Anyway, so Olaf makes his mistakes as always, thinking that I'll float and go one way when I don't. Then this awesome Mundo comes along and ganks, and we dive, and we're like, yeah, cool, well played, good. So we move off, I go back, and I have Phage, and I'm building up for Machine now. Because I'm doing well in the lane, I'm going to build Trinity. Normally, if I'm having problems within the lane, I'll probably go Frozen Mallet instead, and go tank Kong instead. Because it's more beneficial for the team. But because I'm doing well in lane, it makes more sense to go damage build, and aim to brutalize the lane and just win it. So at this point, I push the tower, because I'm like, okay, I'm farming well. I'm ahead of Olaf by about 40, which is really weird, and I really should be. At this point, I dive Morgana, and I walk off. And I'm like, cool, beans, right. We can take this tower, continue to push a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, so let's back off, there's no point. And then we catch... We don't catch anyone there. And then we have... At this point, we're not sure what's going to happen. So I wait, I then catch Skarner off, nearly dies. I then catch Morgana, and then I nearly got away from Misfortune, but he just killed me. But it's fine. We lost me, and they lost 4. That's major for us. We're like, yeah, this is cool. So I come back up. I've got my Trinity Force now, and I'm like, yeah, this is good. I have a Trinity Force of 90 minutes. I kill Misfortune, and then I sadly die. We shouldn't have, that was bad. We shouldn't have all been there still, but oh well. So I then come back up. I go back to top lane to push it back, and then we're thinking, so I need a team fight at this point properly, not have skirmishes. Skirmishes are bad at this point for us because we're ahead and we should be team fighting. So I go round the wrong way at this point. I should have gone the other way. We would have killed off possibly 2 instead of just the 1, and we wouldn't have lost Leo. But oh well. And then Gragas gets caught. Yeah, I'm like crap. So I have to retreat. There's no doubt about it. And then for some weird reason they chase me, and I bash them away. Now at this point I'm thinking surely Morgana could go back, and then she doesn't. I'm like, what? Okay, so I ram into her ult ignite and just kill her. And then I'm like, why would you still be there? That's just why. And then I push this tower, and I'm like, fine. My team doesn't need me at this point. I might as well be pushing. So I continue to push, because we like to push, and we have a little fight in mid up here. It looks like, yep. And I come in and I clean up and I kill Olaf. I then chase down the move. Yeah, we end up backing off, and we're like, fine, okay. So they used an ult to get us off them. Leona gets caught by a binding. We're like, fine, okay. They're not gonna engage. I think about going back, and then Graves gets caught at the enemy race. I don't know why he was there. It was just pointless being there. It was silly. So I go back and I'm starting to build into my Bloodthirster, because like I was saying earlier, I'm doing well. I might as well go damage and continue to do well. After a Bloodthirster I would build a GA, because I'm still needing to be in a tank of some form, and GA is probably the best item tank wise. It benefits him in every way. Armor, magic resist, and revive. Yeah, we have a massive fight here. I kill him with my ult. We kill Morgana. We kill Skarner. We catch Olaf as he kills our Gragas, and then he dies. And then we're like, fine, okay. So we take this tower. We're in a really, really good state here, and I'm like, ouch, taking tower damage, like beast, why not? We'll take that. I go over here, we check their blue, and I'm like, okay, so I'll just go take Wraiths. Why not? I need to farm a bit. I go back at this point, and then buy my Bloodthirster. I get a chain vest from a GA. We take Dragon. Yeah, we still do really. I wouldn't say a great engage because I went for the wrong person, but then Gragas comes in. We kill Morgana, the Misfortune. I hunt down Nunu, kill him. We hunt down Morgana and kill her. And we're like, yeah. We just aced them. We lost Gragas. Gragas seems to die in every fight. So we're fine with that. So we're pushing for the inhib tower and hopefully for the inhib as well. We should be able to get it. They're not up for a while. We've got quite a good pushing power here. So we take that, we back off. I take their blue because it's great benefit for me because it reduces cooldown of my Q, which then means I can do even more damage and reduce their armor for even longer. So we have another fight. I catch MF and chase her down and kill her because that's my job, or at least I try to, and then I end up just going on to Olaf instead. Olaf is free game at this point. Then Skarner, because I've got red buff, and Fade procs, they can't get away from me. So at this point, we're like, yep, okay, we're clearly winning this. And then we decide we want to take this tower, and then they surrender, and we're like, cool, okay, GG, well played. Both sides made mistakes, but we just had a better late game team, I feel, and in general, better team fights. So yeah, good game.